Mr. Speaker. I wish to report this morning on a few infrastructure projects that are currently in train. Mr. Speaker, I have previously reported to this House on the importance of infrastructure in general and bridges in particular. Our bridges play a vital role in social development and economic growth for Bermudians. Our engineers regularly inspect and repair our bridges to ensure safety and infrastructure integrity, but no structure is impervious to the ravages of time, particularly in our harsh Atlantic environment. The Swing Bridge connecting St. David's Island to St. George's Island and Longboat Bridge connecting the mainland to St. David's Island are two examples, and both are due for replacement. In fact, the RFI for that project ends this afternoon, and we look forward to discussing those responses. Mr. Speaker, in the case of Longboat Bridge, it was condemned in 2007. Two single spans of Bailey bridges were built to divert traffic coming from the west and the LFA International Airport as a temporary solution.
Minister. I was the minister at the time.
Oh, you were the minister?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
That's why I say you would know most of these things,
right here.
Mr. Speaker. An action plan was developed and executed, and we are nearing the time when construction can begin on a replacement. However, before this can happen, the existing structure must be demolished to make way for the new. A public tender was issued for the demolition, removal, and safe disposal of the Longboat Bridge superstructure, piers, approach slabs, walls, and services. After the selection process, Christen Construction Limited was a successful bidder and awarded the contract for $249,000, having scored the most points in qualification and also on cost, being the lowest bidder. Mr. Speaker, the works will commence on site immediately following an environmental impact assessment. The demolition of Longboat Bridge will not just remove an eyesore that greets our air passengers and endangers the boating community, but will also signal the rebirth of both Longboat and Swing Bridges. Mr. Speaker, I'd now like to turn to the Ottawa A. Simmons Arbitration Center, formerly the Allenhurst Building. Mr. Speaker, one of the initiatives of this ministry is the reuse of vacant government buildings when it is financially prudent to do so. This building has been vacant since 2011, when the police station moved to its current location at the Dame Lois Brown Evans Building. Mr. Speaker, Allenhurst was originally built as a hotel and was purchased by the government of Bermuda in the 1920s for government offices on the ground floor and police barracks on the upper floors. Subsequent to that, the building underwent refurbishments in the 1970s to convert it to the Hamilton Police Station when the cell blocks were also added. Mr. Speaker, in 2017, the Bermuda Business Development Corporation proposed that the vacant property be converted into an international arbitration center. And in the 2018 speech from the throne, it was announced that this would be the direction of this government and that the building would be renamed the Ottawa A. Simmons Arbitration Center in honor of this most distinguished Bermudian. Mr. Speaker, the plan was to renovate the original structure and add on to the building to accommodate the addition of elevators. The building was gutted earlier this year, and a structural survey was carried out on the integrity of the building by engineers from the ministry this past September. That survey revealed that there had been significant deterioration and structural cracks to the external walls. It was also found that the water tank and electrical main supply is shared with the adjoining Valerie T. Scott building, currently occupied by the Information Commissioner's Office. Separately, our Estates Department have had ongoing discussions with the Information Commissioner on deficiencies with that building involving air quality, dampness, and mold issues. Mr. Speaker, in light of the current state of both buildings, it is now not economical to refurbish either building, and the engineers within the ministry have recommended that it would be expedient to demolish them both to make way for the new arbitration center. An application for a demolition permit has been submitted with the plan to complete the demolition work expeditiously. The ICO office, as soon as practicable, will be relocated to allow the demolition to occur. Mr. Speaker, you will recall that in 2002, the building was named after the first Bermudian Registrar General, Mrs. Valerie T. Scott. I can advise that her family have been advised of this plan and informed that government will find another suitable means of honoring her distinguished service to Bermuda. Separately, Mr. Speaker, the Ministry is in the advanced stage of a public-private partnership to build a brand-new building to house the Ottawa A. Simmons Arbitration Center on both lots, and I shall report further on progress as I am able. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.